Okay, guys, I gotta run in here and get the puppy. But what this is about 4.5-month-old Labrador puppy. It's the only puppy in the home, and it's a high energy puppy, but behavior that you're gonna see in some of these. It's specific to food or whatever, but it's a very specific steel trap sort of thing. So I'm aware of that now, so I'm not saying, well, I'm going to correct that. What I'm is, let me see how long I can go and that not be a part of the dog. So in other words, sort of circumvent situations where that's going to occur until I can augment the other behaviors that I'm trying to teach the dog. Yeah, it's that complicated. All right, hang on. Let me run and go get the dog. So, if you said, what was all that barking? Well, this is what this dog does, and you're gonna run the only dog in the home. And the people try to make the dog go outside without them. So if you said, what does it do? No, it doesn't want to go outside by itself. If you said, what's the fix? OMG. Um, the only fix that there is for that right now is to put another dog out there, but I didn't want to do that. So if you said, well, what's the fix if there's nothing you can do at that point? The fix is one, to observe, and two, try to come up with strategies. That's all you can do. I know she's not good if another dog's out there. If you said, well, she'll swarm them. Oh yeah, they're gonna love the title on this. Oh, all right, hang on. I'm telling you, it's cold. I don't know how much more of this I can do. Okay, here we go. Whoops. OMG. Ridiculous. Boy, as you can see, probably the wind is affecting my signal. Anyway, this is called Dogs Behaving Badly. And you said what? When I didn't want to put any other dogs out here because I didn't, I was just saying that about I don't want to set up situations where she's going to be doing it. So she doesn't ever want to be out by herself, and she must have been doing that at your house, Grant. If I had to guess, you guys have to walk out there with her, and that is common. If there's no other dog, they don't want to be by themselves, so they just demand. I used to do that too. You said, what's the fix? No, I make sure there's another dog out there to entertain her. And Grant's like, what are you trying to say? But again, if you said correct it away, and I want you to use that collar to correct things, I'd say, no, that's going to fail. It's going to fail. So I don't even want you to thinking in those terms. If you're thinking, okay, I don't like what Millie's doing. Oh my God. I want this corrected. It just doesn't work like that. If you said, well, how do they get, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. All right, hang on. I'm just going to have to, oh my God. No. You said, what's doing it? The wind. That thing up by the road. All right, hang on, let me change my settings. Oh, yeah. Should have figured I'm on stupid Wi-Fi. Oh, no, I can't get it off Wi-Fi again. Oh, my God. Yeah, the same thing happened on this iPad. I gotta go and find one of those pen things. Oh, my God. There can't possibly be anything like this. That it happens. Oh, there. Oh, it must be me. Okay, hang on. It can't possibly just be me, though. If somebody never had one of these phones and tried to, how would they be able to figure it out? I don't know. All right, hang on. Let me get back online. Okay, sorry. Yeah, okay, hang on. Telling you it's freezing out here. If I had to guess, it's some blizzard up north. Okay, here we go. Okay, sorry, I had to get off of Wi-Fi. And if you the same thing is on that. I can't hit the button. Who's ever designed this crap? I used to believe we put a man on the moon in 1967 too. If you said up until what point? A couple of years ago. I started saying NFW in 67. Could they have gotten a man on the moon with the, more knowledge than we have? I understand these people are rocket scientists, but I no longer buy it. I buy now that it was the Hollywood setup. If somebody said it wasn't a Hollywood setup, this is what I would say. Like when I told that girl there was no sulfur lab, she went right on the internet and found an article stating it was there was such a thing as a silver lab. So I'm pretty sure I could go quickly onto YouTube and find a video stating the moon land-up was all a big Hollywood mock-up. I didn't used to think that, but now it's like, seriously, 67? These people were that advanced? The moon? This thing can't even throw a signal from a tower 2 miles from here because it's windy. So no, I don't buy it. No man on the moon. There's no man on the moon. If you said they can still see the flag, no, I don't think they can. No, I don't think they can. Yeah, I think they look for that flag. They can. Oh, it's the mailman. I better hide. He doesn't like me. He looks up here or anything. He just looks down, throws the packages. Okay. So what we've got is a dog that has a bundle of energy and is, by whatever dynamic, used to getting all the attention because it's an only child. It's true. That's what happens. That's why I ask. I always ask, is there another dog in the home? I just didn't ask it right away, but there's certain things that you can say. And if you said, well, same thing with teachers. They can kind of tell when a kid's an only child. I'm sure they can. So I don't want you to worry, Grant. If you said, what's the fix? Months, even years of costly professional training. Don't worry. Grant's like, what? Oh, ask Todd. They came for years. Grant still comes here. He's 9. He only has 3 legs. He's 10. He's like 10 and a half. I didn't tell Todd I had to have the father put to sleep, but he was 13. He just kind of went downhill really fast. But I mean, he's at 13. I tell people, if they say how long do they live, they only live to be 12. So if you said, how did you know? I did the pager and I went like that. All right, let's see if we can get her on this green thing. Yay. My job is if she even looks at it. And if you said what's, that she won't jump. If you said with the, give me in a nutshell. Well, if we can teach you to jump on this and be biased, but not jump on us, that's probably a better fix than saying don't ever jump. That worked with little Luna. She's trying to figure out what I want. She just doesn't know. Okay. If you said, oh, I didn't need 1 foot up there. I just need 1 foot up there. Yay! 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 So I just didn't have any reaction. If you said you should have kneed the dog, that would have been dancing. That would have been dancing. Anyway, it looks like the mailman brought a bunch of my packages. Yay! 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 Well, it is crucial that you don't say jumping is bad, just jumping on me. Jump over there. You need to think of it. If you go somewhere and some little baby comes up and starts pulling on your, what do you need the kid? I'm going off the deep end. You just start kneeing the kid? Come on. If people claim, they've got this intellect of a little kid. Little kids trying to get your attention when you need a kid? Yay! And that's why you don't want the sit. Once you've got sit, then they're saying, well, that's it. That's all I got. That's what the problem with the sit is. That's all I got. All right, we're going to work on that. And if you said, what's my strategy? What I'm thinking to myself is, if you said, what's your internal dialogue? And I just don't have any clue what I'm talking about. And for whatever reason, and that's what you have to understand about the platform. If you don't condition them to the platform, they would continue to go around it. Once you condition them for it, they actually, if it's put in their path, jump over it. There's got to be a way to exploit that. You know, if you said, well, part of what I'm training for is jumping, well, no, this isn't going to go anywhere. That's not going to hurt it. It's going to go a long way to making the path of least resistance look like something that's got obstacles, but that are no longer obstacles because little velocity right past it. That's what they're thinking. So I'm going to go over there with the paper. And that's why I've got the velocity. If you said you could do it without the pager, I would, but I think it could be measurable. If you simply measured it, you're actually getting, X amount of we're able to calibrate that you're getting X amount more momentum by using that pager because you're sort of supercharging the physiology. Grant's like, what? No, never mind. Don't worry. By the time she gets home, it's just going to be push this button. But that's what it is. I'm supercharging the physiology. That's why the dog is... that's why there's so much to learn. So I want to start getting her to heel. So you said what's... Well, you want to think of heel as... You've got to think of it as the targets. Because if you say, well, it just means walk along. That's good, but the problem with that is, well, what if something comes up? Here, walk along is fine, but yeah. Let's think of this. Your neighbor comes out of their house with their elderly chihuahua. Millie! Am I wrong? The dog jumped over the platform, didn't it? Was I wrong? Your neighbor comes out of her house with her fat, elderly 14-year-old chihuahua in its new Christmas sweater. Millie spots this thing. Can see it a mile away. It's Christmas snowman sweater. Plan if it takes off, obviously. Everything, that's what people don't understand. As long as you're thinking of it, everything's falling in 3 basic behaviors that I can get it to do. I can get it to move towards me. So obviously if it's away, that's what I'm going to do. It goes away from me at all. That's going to be my strategy, not screaming no or leave it. Yeah, that's what they do. If you said how effective is that, I would think not effective at all. If you said how effective is leave it away from the handler, based on what it takes these people to get these Schutzen dogs to out at a distance, it's probably going to require a fairly skilled handler. Am I wrong? If you said what model are you basing it on, that model. If you said there's no such thing as dogs that fail because they don't, oh yeah. If you said, well, I'm cool, my dog doesn't out. Not to those people, you're not. If you said, what's cool to those people? A death grip bite and a lightning fast release. Billy. So I'm just aware of feet sticking. So honestly, you're helping your recall by doing that. All right, so she's not getting on this thing, so we'll leave that. If you said, what's my strategy? My strategy is to get one of the other ones out because she's a big copycat. And so she will copy that. Hi, George. Oh, George, it's so cold here. I doubt it's cold where you are. Do they get cold snaps there? I don't think they do. Yay, yay. So she's sniffing the footstool, so I said yay. All right, so I've got my little objects, my key-o-matic. I've only got, I don't know what happened to the other set of keys. Anyway, I've got the key and the phone. And the reason I don't want you to be disappointed, Grant, is because once we do, now we're operating no longer as a behaviorist. There's no possible behaviorist. You could be disappointed in anything other than yourself, because if you said, well, it's just an animal making observations. So, believe me, when I was a kid, I used to be disappointed when they caught the antelope, too. I don't know how they exposed us to these kind of things. Old Yeller. This was a feel-good flick. I still haven't gotten over from seeing Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey. If you said, do you recommend any Stanley Kubrick movie? No. No. Don't do that to yourself. No. That won't teach you anything about life. Don't watch any Stanley Kubrick movies. Alright, so I've got my objects.
You know, I am though, and this is what we're gonna have to do with her grip because it would be very easy for her to just be entitled, gimme, gimme, gimme. You know, because yeah, when people bring those chew bones and stuff, I don't give them to a Brody's owner brought like you're there, Jess. I mean, I should have taken a picture of all the bags, treat, treat, treat. If you said were they right kind, no, it was like a tutorial in what don't, what you shouldn't get. I had even heard of some of these things before, you know, that they're getting you to buy under the guise of this will solve the behavior problem of the dog chewing, so give it these things. But the reality is you're just teaching them to chew. I've kind of learned, you know, you really just want to give them nylobones. And if you said why, because they're constant. Yeah. One day, 3,000 years from now, they'll unearth this property and find all these plastic bones. And they'll say, we don't know what these were. So I do like that. And boy, I'm letting her know right away. Oh, gee. Oh, the fish-o-matic already broke. Well, luckily it hadn't gone into production yet. So yeah, we can't be disappointed because now we're no longer seeing it from the behavior's viewpoint and it's hopeless. If you said, can it get better? It can, yes, it can definitely get better. Or there's strategies that we can use, but you do have to be careful. It's more nerve-wracking. I can show you this one. The whole video was, he attacked like he did like she did, but like the 5 different ones every time you turned around. Let's just say he was taking a real proactive approach, but that was like a 3-year-old dog. And if you said, well, what did he always, yeah, he was an only child, and, you know, they wrote it off. There was certain dogs that brought out the worst in him, rather than, oh, he's awful. No, I said, no, it's not that. He's awful. So she's so young, but it is nerve-wracking, but it's not, if you said, I want you to punish it away. If you said, I'll leave it there for 5 years if you can punish it away. It's I'm sure I've tried it. If you said, why did you know, why do you have this correction apathy? Because it doesn't work. I'm sure I've tried it. You know, it's, you got what you got. And so my strategy right now, and this, there's going to be a measure of success to this. We don't know how much, we won't know until later. But to just avoid that situation happening. So if you said, if that behavior didn't occur in the dog for a month, we'd be farther ahead than if it occurred 40 times and you tried to correct it. I'd say yes, because after 30 times, I didn't figure out it wasn't working. You know, after 10 times, I didn't figure out it wasn't working. So, you know, my strategy at this point is to allow the dog to continue on a timeline where that behavior is not occurring. So what I've been letting her play, now that Olive is here, then Luna can play with Olive, and then her little play group is the pit bull. So, because they're the same size, and she can't beat them up like she could a smaller one. She's like my butler. She put her right in my hand. You know, so we're again looking at, if I said, well, I'm going to get her out and I'll put up all these situations and correct the dog. You know, by the end of the day, you've got a dog that says, God, what's going to happen tomorrow? And how can I figure out ways to circumvent these things? They're using the nick, and that's very, very, if I didn't tell you I was doing that, you would know. Your take on it might be, well, it seemed like she was playing rough, but then it did seem like she kind of stopped when the other dog got the upper hand. Yeah. It got the upper hand because and this is how I want you to think of the nick in that context. And I need to go back and find that one Briggy video using the nick to form a shield. So that's what I want you to think of it, because if he said, is that dog like that at all now? No, not at all. But she would attack. They had a little chihuahua in the home, and she missed the dog. Yeah, and harangue and harass and you know, nonstop. And that's not what you want. Hang on, I gotta get a drink. You said what? Well,
It was escalating, and if you said escalating to what? Well, let's just say not anything good. So if you said, what's the fix? Well, that's where the tech comes in, and that's where you say, well, I can, if I'm surgical and careful and know what I'm doing, I can use the nick to seemingly form a shield around the other dog. And if you say, well, how can it form a shield? It doesn't see anything. Yeah, they don't need to see anything. I don't need to see. I'm not sitting there going, the hell is the damn wire? I'm going down to 8. Where is the what? How is this thing working? I'm not questioning that. It works. So we've already installed that. They already understand. So it works, and they're not questioning why it doesn't work. I accidentally gave her that chewy. But you don't want to do that. You don't want to give them any more of these. Give them rods. One, you're teaching them how to chew, but you're not anything that's factoring out the handler. That's more fun. You don't want. I forgot you don't want that. All right, let me grab some more. She's not gonna do it to certain dogs yet. She might, but my job is to make her believe that's the way the world works, not I'm correcting her. It's not me. If you said why, one, for corrections to be effective, they need to be non-personal. If every time I touch that tree over there I get a static shock, I don't touch it anymore. If you said, well, after how many times? Well, probably once, twice at the most. Then I just let the tree live its life. I don't keep touching it. So that's what you're thinking of with the dog. They're just letting it, they're not touching it all the time. So, let me get my chalk real quick. It was saying, and I don't, oh, I know you guys did say you walked her on the leash. I don't know, honestly, I don't know for you guys. Just tell me where it is that you walk her. You've got to be better to drive someplace and walk them than it is just to strike out from your house. Hang on, let me grab more treats. Anyway, go online, order the climb. I don't know if you could ever take her to work with you or something, but I think she'd be a good dog for that. I don't know if you know my friend Mark, but he takes that German Shepherd to work with him every day. But he bought it as already trained. He said, why is that? Oh, he bought it already trained. He's not good trained. Okay, so what we want to do, oh, a perfect circle in me. You're thinking, if I'm going to, what's teach them to heal? Well, if you take your kid down to tap class. Oh, and I know, I took tap. They don't just sit there and say, go like this, So that's it, that's tap dancing. No, that's a parody of tap dancing. I said, what do you mean you're trying to say these trainers should be a parody of Hill? Best I can tell. They call anything. They walk in a straight line and then they speed the video up so that you don't see the dog sort of snaking back and forth. And if you said, well, they don't have any specificity to the behavior, that's why. Grant's like, who cares? Just train the dog, lady. That might have been Millie's treats. I normally get the natural balance rule, but that red barn rule, if you throw that in here and there too, if you said what's in it, I'll look up the video on YouTube. I don't think you want the visual of them making that stuff. If you said what is, well, best yeah. Okay, so I've got, and this is what I'm saying to myself, if I'm going to teach the dog to heel, then I am saying, like, you know, these people who signed their kid up for tap, if I'm going to tell them it heals, I'm going to have to say it has a specific footwork, not just, oh, it knows to walk along. You know, so I'm saying, well, this is the turn, that's the dog on the outside. So if you said, well, what I see, because I had a minor in physics in college, is that the dog is going to have to travel farther and faster. That's, you've got to think of it that way. If you're thinking of it, well, it better learn to stay by me. We've got to think of it from the physics people. You know, if it's dancing, well, if you said, well, if it was dancing, the partner on the outside, it would be better if that was a faster one. Yeah, that's what I tell people. If you and your dog went down to sign up for a dream, this is what they'd say. Yeah, we've got to know the dog is faster. We're going to go ahead and put the dog in the front flag. You... not so fast. We'll go ahead and have you bring up the rear. Yeah, that's what they're going to say. They're not going to say, oh, we'll have the dog bring up the rear. You know, we've noticed that your dog is a lot faster than you, so we'll have them. Yay, yay. If you said, does she see the line? No, she doesn't see the line. So if you said, what do you mean? So if I'm walking along, I'm gonna be able to turn it with the pager, yes. And if you listen, you probably can't hear it because of the wind. I'm going to show you. I'm going to draw, and I need to get a different color chalk. I'm going to show you where I'm hitting the pager, though. And it might be different with that dog. If you said, we'll do it without the pager. No. My job is to inundate the dog with the pager. Not that you're saying that, Grant. I'm not saying that. But my job is to inundate it with it. And if you said, what do you mean? Every time I hit that pager, I'm putting the deposit in the behavior bank. The bank of behavior, because I'm solidifying the behavior by making the same thing happen over and over and over again. If you said, what do you mean? Just keep doing it. Yeah, that's just what they do. They're not... They've just only got certain behaviors that they do. One, walk along, walk around, look for stuff to eat. Yeah. Two, get triggered by things in the environment. And that's what their life is. You know, look around, find stuff to eat. Two, react to things in my environment. You know, if you said, well, that's not what wolves do. Yeah, it is. That's what they do. They walk around, look for stuff to eat, and then if something moves fast, they chase after it. If you said, what, anything. Dogs chase skateboards and bikes and everything else. Kids put this playing card in the spokes of their bicycle. They might as well scream, kill me now. Yeah. So my pager is happening. I'm going to draw it. Where's my chalk? If I had a different color chalk, right? And I don't want you to get overwhelmed with the technical aspects of this, because we're still at the beginning, and we're going to be a lot farther along. This is really just more for. But where I'm doing the pager is from here to there. This is my pager. And if you said, what about on this turn? From here. That was my little leap. From here to here is when my pager is occurring. And if you said, why? That's where I'm speeding around. So I don't think you can see my second circle. Okay, well, you can only see that one, but I want you just to listen very closely. And if you said you're doing it the same every time, yes. If you said why, the greatest stumbling block to successful training is inconsistency. You know, if you said, well, I find a lot of people that disagree with you on that one, I'd say, who? So I may have not dropped quite as far as it went. I'm going a little bit over. All right, but watch.
I do like to have that stopping point right there. And you said, tell it sit. Tell it, oh, who cares about sit? This is my response. Oh, who cares about sit? So if you said, what do you mean? What if the leash is there? Yeah, what if the leash is there? That's what we're going to do. What else are we going to do? You know, pull on the leash. If you said, what about this pull on the leash? I swear to God, Grant, there's this, on these chat boards and everything, they consider me the troll because you said, what do you mean you mentioned they don't know what they're doing? Yes, I mentioned they don't know what they're doing because what they're doing is using a 130-year-old prong collar and a methodology, and I'm using that term loosely, called pressure release. If you said it sounds nonsensical, yeah, tell them pressure release technique for yanking on the collar. It's not a methodology. And then they say, oh, you're a troll, you're a troll. It's true, though. It's not a pressure release. That's a methodology. No, that's a technique for pulling a collar. That's how stupid they are. If you say, what else? Oh, yeah, they do. No, they charge thousands of dollars to teach people this pressure release. If you said, what is it? Well, pretty self-explanatory. You mean you just pull on the collar and release? In what context? Well, I guess you figure that on your own. Grant's like, oh gosh, he's losing it. I am. It's terrible. I try to tell them they're not using it. None of them will use the pager. They don't use the pager, and then it's not that they don't use the pager. Their way to say don't use it. If you say, what do you mean? When you say use it, they go make videos. Surely they don't just rush to the internet and make videos. Oh no, that's exactly what they do. Oh, and you know these people are intellectuals, Grant. They use things. Their terms are freaks them out. Yeah, I know that's a little, that's trade lingo. You may not understand. There's somebody that says that. All right, so watch. Here's my watch. If you said, well, you can't do it farther. Yeah, I can. I can pull her all the way around. If you said, I'll bend in the dog's body. Yes, you're bending the dog with the collar. And if you said, well, how's that going to help me? Yeah, I'm putting steering on the dog. So if you say, what do you mean if it's going fast, I can steer it back. Yes, exactly. You can steer it back in your direction. You've got a much better chance of doing that. And she said, well, I wanted to do a remote sit at 100 and some yards. I go, oh, we're going to have to get somebody else. I can do the prep work, but we're going to have to find someone else to do that because I don't really do that. That's not my specialty. And you don't want that anyway. If you said, for a companion dog, if you gave somebody a multiple choice question, where's the safest place for the dog? On the other side of a street, in the middle of or next to the handler. It's on the handler. So if you said somebody trying to stay above all else, be able to get this dog back, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm actually just speaking haptics to right now, but I'll add words. I don't want you to accuse me of no words. But that's a little pattern now. If you said, well, now where can you go? And just walk along, and I can just install that turn. You said, what do you mean? So if I'm just walking down my street, then I can turn? Yes. If you started to lose control of the dog, and that's what I tell people. Do you think I just go out and they just start walking along? No. I start turning. I start to lose control. It's a process. So it's a battle of attrition, but this dog is so young. Yay. So if I'm walking along, the turn will be anywhere. So if you said we're going to this turn, if you said where you go, we're going to turn. Oh, she's doing absolutely perfect. How disappointed you were. Oh, she felt sad. No, just kidding. That would be me adding emotion. You're lucky I'm not one of those, Grant. Oh, I hear ego crippling comments. She was very sad. Yeah. Oh, there's pet psychics that would tell you that's what she said. Oh yeah, there's a pet psychic we can take her to. Oh, it's like $150. We can get her written if you said then what? Well, then apparently the psychic gets a dialogue and tells us what she's saying about us. And apparently, oh hi Eileen. Apparently we have to be prepared for some harsh criticism from, I swear to God, look it up. This woman was coming to town and If you said, was any, oh my God, yes. All these people were going, taking the dog there, buying this. It was like $150 to get, I don't know, they're reading this dog's tarot cards. What the hell they're doing? Hey, you have some more treats. Oh, she's a little gravelicious. Okay, so what we're going to do, so now you're saying, well, okay, I see, but how does this relate to going on? So I'm going to show you. Oh, maybe you can see circles. So that's what you have to think of. How is this? If the only thing I had, let me tell you what, if the invention that they had was a pager leash, I'm sure I could have come up with something like that, and one of them would have already cut the leash and gone off. So that's how you have to think of it. I'm gonna have, if we're gonna be, I gotta go see. Oh, that might be my playhouse that got delivered. Oh, the set's gonna be even more colorful, George. Yeah. Oh, I have an orange and something playhouse. If you said, what do you mean? You just picked it? Totally for the colors. So I'm very deliberate with the leash. And even my body language, if you said, well, that's the opposite of reaching for the dog. Yeah, that makes me more interesting. Close to the vestige makes me more interesting than if I'm coming at the dog. So if you say, well, okay, so I don't understand how this page or leash thing is going to work. It is sort of like if you said, well, what do you mean? It's like a power tool, a power leash. It is. That's how I want you to think of it. Because if you said, well, I can use the leash, to speed the dog up. Really? You can try. You can try patting your leg. That was the old way. But I'm being very deliberate about the leash. And I say all the time, I used to use real thin leashes, but now, because people do get these thicker leashes, but I'm being very deliberate with the leash. He said, well, there's no difference. Exactly. Right, she's probably going to try to go to the platform. I'm going to try to preempt it. So she knows where we're going. We're going to turn. When? We don't know. But I'll give you plenty of, there'll be plenty of, there'll be plenty of uncontaminated communication. And that's what I want you to think of, uncontaminated. So if you said, well, now get back on the little pattern. Yay. Just knows the turn. That's how you can do. Yeah, it knows the turn. That's how I can do it. On the show, Grant, you're very skeptical of everything I do. And so my character is like, what? Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. It's not me, it's how these people write the show. So if you said, well, you're just augmenting what you're doing with the leash now. Yeah. I'm augmenting what I'm doing. You couldn't see the long heel. Okay, hang on. Let me show you the long heel. I forget the cameras. All right, hang on. Okay, so, oops. Uh-oh, hang on. Okay, so if you said, okay, well, I saw the little pattern. I couldn't see what happened when you went down there. Well, I can show you what happened wasn't me pulling on the leash, so I'll show you what happened. So I'm saying to the dog, and that's what you've got to be careful. I'm saying step by step or whatever. That's the background music. And I am posturing with the leash, and I'm immediately saying, you know, I'm not coming at you if you said she finds you. Yeah. Or she knows that something's going to happen. So she knows that where we're going is we're going to turn. So when that leash got tight, when she stopped, you can see how I'm. And you said, well, you're just driving the dog forward. You said, what am I, that's how I'm going to heal? If you said, what are you trying to say? That, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how you're going to heal. You know. And I will. All I'm going the other way, too. And if you said, what do you mean? You're going to have two bases, and it's a function of a pivot to the left and pivot to the right. Because if you said, well, if I'm going to be able to walk and turn, I'm going to have to be able to pivot left and right. Not that anybody says that. Millie! Real quick. All right, so watch. So this would end up being pivoting towards. And the foot got untangled. If you said, okay, well, but now it won't do the little pattern. Don't have a little pattern. How does it know how to do it? You know, how was I able to put on a Broadway show without 6 months of tap when I was, you know, if you said what happens when you go in there, I can assure you, you don't just start tapping around. Hi, you should go on, Anita. I know Sebastian's getting older. They're so cute. Anyway, so again, if you said, what's she doing now? Looking for feet. Or water, or whatever. You said, why? And that's what they do. And my response to anybody, why is it doing that? My new pink pool, and I'm pretty sure that's my orange and red or something crazy color playhouse. So this drab gray communist doghouse is, I'll put it up by the road. Somebody will take it. Somebody will give it to their dog. And orange and red and whatever color playhouse. Mine is colorful background. This colorful background. So anyway, you can see that's where we're at. That's the healing, and it's gonna have specific. Or if heal means just walk along, we're not really going anywhere. Yeah, they don't really go for that. You know, they don't go somewhere. Oh, they're all about that. So if you said, well, I don't know the benefit of the pager. Well, I'm going to tell you the benefit. Remember, your character is very skeptical. It's like, oh my God. It's the commonality. If you said, what's a good thing in dog training? Well, commonalities between handlers and commonalities between on and off leash. If you said, well, what's the commonality between a leash when it's on and off? None! A zero! What about the pager? 100% commonality. That's true. she's doing absolutely perfect. No more disappointment. Yeah, and that's just why you're seeing it through an emotional filter, and then if you said then what, that's a cascade into some sort of crazy wrong thinking. Yes. It's like, what? You'll then descend into crazy and start thinking that the dog is thinking things it isn't thinking. You know, I used to think that too. I realize now a couple different things. One, where's some food I can eat? You know. And two, if I get any correct, how can I circumvent that? If you said, what about you? I'm the same way. The same thought processes. All right, look, I factored the present in. Oh, she's going to get a present. They have craft class here. Linda's like, oh, I love it, craft class. I could probably do that, don't you think, girl? I could do it for like the Winter Park dogs. Oh, yes, it's a craft class where your dog collects pine cones and stuff in the little back field back there. And then we make it into little, crafts that they give the owner. Oh, I'm sure people. I'm right away. So if you said, what is she? She got a better grip on it. Yay. She got a better grip on it. And if you said, why? Because that was the solution to the problem. The problem was this little, slow as molasses human can't get things that fast. It tries to act like fast as me. That's what she's thinking. So I'll solve the problem by holding on to it longer. So anyway, she's doing amazing. I don't mean to be disappointed. And, there is a fix. It's called months, even years of costly professional training. What? Yeah. That's where I tell Linda, take secret hidden footage of Grant, watching me come up with these outrageous statements just to get his reaction. We'll put them all together in like a little, we'll put them all together in like a little montage video that we play at the end. And it'll be titled, I somehow survived taking my dog to Jordan and found out it was me all along. Yikes. Okay, hang on, I'm going to be right back with... Oh, she's absolutely perfect.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to go down there and get that playhouse. Oh, I'm dying. I hope it's not too hard to put together. I didn't read that part of the instructions. Anyway, she bottom almost broke out, but I didn't let her get out. But this puppy still has the weaker pager on, and if you said why, she's not really in a. It's really in a whole lot. Yay! There's the default down though. Yay! So even though I didn't get there in time, all right, let me get on Facebook here real quick. Katie, if you said that's the behavior, it is marking the behavior of the handler. Okay, so let's hope they're there. All right, excellent, Casima. We're back with you. Dear darling little Luna. I hope you saw the video with the Kleenexes. It's just too cute. Oh, oh, big trouble. Big trouble. So I still have a pager on her, and I'm working on a few different things. Getting her to heal. And, oh, yay. So there's my default down. Yay. So she got up. Hang on. That's my battery pack. Ouch. Whoops. Okay. Just put it back to the blanket and lay down. If you said, well, what do you want? If I had a chance 5 times to say yay when it did something, she might start thinking, yeah, maybe I'll do this. You're not asking anything. She's thinking of doing it. If you said, right, because she looked over there at it. Remember when she was a puppy? Oh, they always had the cushy, bears and everything to sleep on. She's always going to probably need that. We need to get a giant bear. Oh, they've got these great big giant ones you can buy on Amazon. Oh, bigger than a person. That way, Axel will put the sleeve. Oh, she'll have her big bear to cuddle. Now they have them like the size of a person. If you said, well, how do you get them? Apparently they, vacuum pack them. Yeah, they vacuum pack these things, and then when you get it to your house, you have to fluff it up. Apparently, I have to look at why that works, but apparently if you put it out in the sun, it puffs it up somehow, the stuffing somehow. You said, hell, I have no idea.
get her to do the default down. I'm saying if that blanket's right there, she just lays down on it. And remember, you're not luring the dog down, you're just giving the treat low. Oh, that's making it even more tempting. You know, and if you said, what are you trying to say when you're doing this? Oh, get comfortable. We're not going anywhere for a while. Oh, I'm getting ready to go onto a phone call. They do. They've got to understand that. That's why I never answer my phone or call anyone back. I do understand where text is better because I can't just start getting on the phone if I have to do something in 5 minutes and then these people are talking for 20 minutes and then I get all behind. It's better if I just don't answer it at all. I don't. If it's someone I know, or if someone leaves a message and says they got referred by someone I know, I do call them back. Other than that, I try sometimes I do, but I must have called you two back. So I'm just doing things, just really honestly say get comfortable. Oh, let's just get so comfy. Because what you want, you know, if you will, the dog is modeling my behavior. I don't want a dog that every time I sit down, if you said, what do you like? I like one that goes and when I sit down, goes and lays right by me. That's what I like. So if you said, can you condition that? You can condition that. And you should condition that because she's thinking of doing it. She has the hiccups now. It's so cold out today, though. Now, she did it on her own. She laid down on it on her own. And now she's going everywhere but on it. Oh, she's going everywhere but on it. Now, these are very cold hardy, though. I don't want you two to worry. She's not going to need coats or anything in the winter. Yeah, she's thinking about doing it. You know, and these bird dog guys and stuff, if you said, well, these bird dog guys up in Georgia got them inside. No, I don't think they do. If you said, well, because these guys hunt out in the cold. You're doing the dog, yay. You're doing the dog a disservice by bringing it inside and then asking it to go outside and hunt. If you said, what about wolves? She's trying to figure out what I want. She thinks I want her to pick this blanket up, but I don't, so I don't react to it. If you said, what about the wolves in Yellowstone? Are they gathering them up to get them inside? I doubt it. It really is, heat is more the enemy of dogs than cold. If you said, why? Well, there are some southern wolves, but if I had to say, you know, if you said there's more wolves per capita in Russia, I'd say, oh, I probably believe that. In fact, in Russia, I think they even have these. I'm not even in the shot. Oh, sorry, not even in the shot. They have these wolf dog things. Oh, sorry. It says phone. Don't worry, I ordered a bunch of new phone holders. I ordered a new camera grip. They invent new stuff all the time. I was going to get this one thing. Luckily, I read the reviews. If you said, oh, they said it fell apart the first time. I'm like, okay, I don't want this thing. So it fell apart the first time. All right, so this is what we're working her on to get the 3 things. Your keys, your phone, she doesn't need the bird thing, and gifts. Oh, you know, hostess gifts when people come over to visit. You just send her in the other room. You know, you have these little prepackaged gifts in there. You know, oh, the little candles and stuff. Yeah, there's a little package. And then she runs in the other room and gets it and brings it to the company. I mean, how cute is that going to be? Yeah, I have to put it over here. And then I sit way over here. Yay. And I'm saying to myself, if I can even bring the dog a couple inches closer. Yay. Oh, bring the... So that's the fake cell phone for him. Oh, shit. So I'm not telling the dog, and I'm not really, what you don't want to do is like be real obvious about scooting away. She thinks I'm kind of a scooting away kind of thing anyway. So the dialogue there is, oh, it's starting a scooting away thing. I better get it over there. I better get it over there if I want to get paid. Okay, let's make it just a little more difficult because, oh, I didn't tell you this, you two. I've moved her into the advanced class. They're like, oh, how wonderful. Oh, yeah, she's in the gifted program. All right, so what I can do, I can't wait. I can already tell that's my little playhouse down there. It was on Overstock for $82. And then apparently I signed up for some, give them extra 20 bucks, and then for like a year you get free shipping. If you said, what are you planning on buying more multicolored? Yeah, you guys know how I am. This place will be peppered with playhouses before I get done. All right, hang on. No, it'll be peppered with playhouses. Oh, be careful. All right, so, I'm just going to do it like this. Put it on there. Whoops, and then I'm back over here. Oh, you. So remember, my immediate response to her dropping it is just withdraw, withdraw, retreat, retreat, retreat. Because now it's their move. You're kind of saying, let me give you some room to make your move. That's your job. You know, if you said, well, it's a teamwork thing. She understands her job is getting it in your hand. You're just getting out of the way so she can do that. Yay. You absolutely precious. Oh, you little gift giver. Oh, my phone. You can start adding dialogue if you want. Oh, my phone. Where's my phone? Your job is not to point at all, though. It's to look. Because they're very, yay. And the white helped. You saw how the little white ribbon helped. Oh, she had to, oh, she had to work extra hard to get it out. Oh, you precious, precious angel. Because see what? Look, she put it right in my hand. She put it right in my hand. Yeah, oh, she's acting with this. She's going to go back and check. Oh, she double checks. Oh, anyway, what I'm going to do is get the little playhouse set up, and then I can hide the stuff in the little playhouse. They can go in there and get it. Oh, how cute is that going to be? Plus, I can make them pose. I think if I can make them pose, oh, I know what I could do. I can put a little platform inside the little playhouse, and maybe they would go sit in there, and then I could do like really cute pictures. Okay, so I don't know if you saw the other day, she does the twirling, twirling, twirling. Oh, she twirls and twirls. So that's what we're working on, getting her healing. And part of that is, if you said, well, what is healing? What is the big picture of healing? Moving with the handler. Moving with the handler. Not the handler stopping the dog from pulling, none of those things. And if you said, well, moving with the handler more specifically, the handler driving the dog forward. But honestly, to the point, now you're just moving step by step. But the absence of driving it forward, that's, that's what you say. Well, I just get in the car and I let the car go where it wants to go, and then I just start slamming on the brakes when it goes where I don't want it to go. It doesn't work. Okay, so we can do the little. Oh, she figured this one out the first day. So I'm very deliberate. Yay. I just copy what she does at first. That's how she knows that's what we're doing. I'm copying her. She's thinking. Oh. So the slightest move. If you said you're trying to get him to rotate, what are you looking for? Anything. Oh. If you said it just lifted its foot, yeah, it just lifted his foot up. Oh. The slightest move. And even, you take your kid to dance class and they say put your foot like that, and the kid goes like that. They don't sit there and kick the kid's foot. I'm going off the deep end, Cassim. It's so cold. I had to take my cold medicine. I might have taken too much. Okay,
I didn't have my glasses on. I couldn't read how much it said. Whoops. Oh, hi, Jill. Jill's my wonderful, loyal fan. Yeah, this girl sends me a message. I've been helping. Kind of like you. This would be like if you sent me this message. You of all people will understand this. So I've been helping this girl. I've been doing video chats with her and everything, helping her, try to help her dog, train her dog and do all these different things. And she sends me a message. Yeah, I just wanted to let you know I didn't listen to what you said, and I got the ARC. I listened to someone else. I got the ARC. But it was terrible, like you said, and so now I won't doubt you anymore. I go, oh, don't worry about that, because I'm not going to be around for you to doubt me. And I didn't even ask, who is this, where's this ARC collar work that I can effing view? That this person is so much more knowledgeable than me that you would take their words over mine and just get them to help you from now. I was even more upset than that. That's one of my push button things, but I said, take your thin loyalty and give it to that person. And these people can't look back and say, well, you never helped us. I did, but there's a limit. If you say, why, what do you mean? I mean, come on. After a year of watching my videos, you still have doubts. You're never going to be, if you still got doubts, and I said, you need to just, if you're just that full of doubt, you just go with your gut instinct and go with this other trainer. It was late in the day, and I was really upset, and it's like, that's what I said. I've never even said that to anybody before. I said, take your thin loyalty and give it to that person, because I don't want it. If you said, well, what do you mean? What were you singing it to the tune of that Keith Urban song? Yeah, you'll think of me. Take your thin loyalty. Take your sweater. Leave my cat. Whatever. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was actually singing it. It's like, what else, I'm not here. Oh, shit. And she found a little metal thing. Yeah, she's absolutely wonderful. Oh, you don't need a metal detector. You've got her. This is somebody I helped. Not that I helped you X and X amount of time. I don't know exactly how much time, but I went out of my way, I guess. If you go out of your way for somebody, it was like that one girl, Janet. I went out of my way to help her. I helped her do the first deliver to hand she ever did. And she comes on my page talking about Duke Ferguson. Let me tell you all about Duke Ferguson. And how Duke Ferguson's open to new ideas, and let's all, talk about Duke Ferguson. I said, the guy says, don't use the pager, and good day, madam. And I said, well, I admire your loyalty to this man. I don't care for him. I'm awful. Said, then what? You never talk to her again? Yeah. My job is not to present new ideas to Duke Ferguson. And I said, I'm glad that you have such a loyalty to this man and that he's gone out of his way to help you. And good day, madam. And I'm sure your work will continue to improve at the hands of Duke Ferguson. You said, oh my God, you're so cute. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. I just, I don't understand. Is it they place so little value on you and your feelings that hey, Kelly, check out Duke Ferguson. You may have something to learn from old Duke here. About, he says don't use the pager. You may have something to learn from that. Yeah. I don't think so. And I've seen the guy's work, and it's weird at best. If I know somebody that makes stuff for theme parks, I don't have another friend that does that. And I don't say, so-and-so built a cuter SpongeBob thing than Jeffrey. She was like, huh? SpongeBob statue or whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have if you said you have a warped sense of loyalty, I don't think I do, because, I understand you can't have 1,400 real friends and all this shit. And, Oprah says it too. You've got to control the energy you surround yourself with. If you said what you should surround yourself with is people that you go out of your way to help, and then they second guess you at every move and go behind your back and go against what you say, and then come back and tell you, oh, no, that's not good for me. And you say, well, it upsets me. I was upset. I was just like, oh my God. So what I like to do, I can do the. There you go. It is interesting how I think you know you're getting somewhere if you said why. If they haven't been conditioned for the platform, oh shit! If they have not been conditioned for that platform, I can tell you almost without fail, they're going to go around it. And if you said why, because that is going to appear to the dog to be the path of least resistance. Yay. No, I don't want to be disappointed in people either. You know, if you said you're adding emotion to it, well, yeah, there is a component of emotion too. I guess I'm thinking maybe to myself that these people are my friends. And then I guess realizing that they're not is what's upsetting. I was going to let this girl come here and intern, and but meanwhile, she's asking other people for advice and taking it. There is such a thing as people that they ask everyone for advice. If you said, that guy Greg, he asks everybody for advice, and he takes everyone's advice. If you said, then what happens? Oh, it's a Mr. Potato Head collar. So she's Puerto Rico! Oh, he went right on the platform because he's absolutely perfect. So, anyway, I don't know why it seems like Saturday today. Anyway, I'm not going to let people upset me like that. That's whatever. They're out to get whatever they can get. And, you know, if she doubts me, well, that doesn't have anything to do with me. But I don't have to surround myself with people that, if you say, Kelly, well, with the limited footage you have, I see how people, it would be hard for them to figure out exactly what's in the God almighty. I'm surprised Facebook doesn't say. Facebook has already been trying to tell me, oh, shorter videos have a better impact. You mean my 9-hour videos aren't what you think? They don't know. They also sent me a thing that said you got 0 birthday wishes in 2017. What will the new year hold? I mean, someone was suicidal. In other words, will you still be that much of a loser? That's what they're saying. You get 0. Not that I don't put my birthday on there just because I don't even like that. Because I guess some of it's so fake. Oh, happy birthday, who cares? Anyway, just like, oh my God, go take some more NyQuil. It's Dayquil. I just take the Dayquil. I think it's got something to like perk you up or something in it. Anyway, let me go warm up a minute. It's so cold out here. Jill, please send me a message and tell me what's going on with the weather. Let me know if it's going to get colder than this. I'll run really fast right now and get stuff done. Bye, girl. All right, you guys. Uh-oh. Am I still there? Oh, my God.